this Bitcoin treasury company is selling their Bitcoin, that Bitcoin treasury company is selling their Bitcoin. You're seeing it all over the place, probably on X, the news, wherever you get your crypto information, that tons and tons of treasury companies are selling off their Bitcoin, Solana, whatever it may be. As Bitcoin price dumps 47% from its all-time highs, we're seeing this happen in mass. And a lot of people are probably tempted to think this is a very bearish signal for Bitcoin, maybe even freak some people out that this means Bitcoin's probably going to zero because all these treasury companies are selling out. But is there another story of what could be going on? And could this actually just be a simple mechanic of the market that has to happen that may lead us into the next bull cycle? Well, no one knows for sure, but I would like to suggest that it's probably more of the latter, because you have to realize companies like Mara, Bitfarms, BitDeer, all of these different companies who have sold off tens of thousands even Bitcoin over the past number of months and weeks are in essence having to do so. It may not even be a choice because Bitcoin, like stocks and crypto at large, are high risk, high liquid assets. So when you get into a liquidity crunch in a market, the first thing that has to go is your highly liquid assets, such as Bitcoin. Not to mention, a lot of these companies very likely purchase this money with corporate debt. So when things go down, value is lost. Investors want out of their positions or they want their money back. And all of a sudden, you are forced to liquidate the assets related, even at a massive loss, just to be able to recoup enough cash to keep your business going and pay off investors. And it's not even speculation. In fact, the Genius Group was required by a court order to sell off their Bitcoin as a great example of how this is already known to be happening. And we can probably safely assume they're not the only ones. Not only is this kind of stuff happening, but we have Bitfarms and Kango, for example, which are completely rebranding and no longer associating themselves as a Bitcoin related company, diving more into like the GPU computer AI sector instead. But while you would expect that this would drive the price of Bitcoin down significantly, there's actually been a surprising amount of buy pressure overall, as really what we're probably seeing more of is institutional trading of hands, where companies like Strategy, for example, while they have paused their buying lately, overall, they've bought somewhere around 90,000 Bitcoin over the last handful of months alone. On top of this, we're starting to see net inflows back into Bitcoin ETFs, with Marsh alone holding a cumulative $1.32 billion of net inflows for the cumulative Bitcoin ETFs out there. So while yes, when you see the news and the headlines that all these different companies are selling off Bitcoin, it's very